welcome to today's Elaine A. Powers Reptile Side Chat. Now, many times after people meet iguanas, especially mine, they decide that they want an iguana too. After all, there's something really appealing about these dinosaur-looking reptiles that everybody wants one. But to be honest, iguanas are not a pet for everyone. You have to be dedicated, willing to work for them every day, and do this for the rest of their lives. Because after all, green iguanas can live 20-ish years, and rock iguanas can live 50, 60 years. So this is a long-term commitment. Many people feel reptiles are disposable pets. You know, you get tired of them, you throw them in the trash, or let them go outside. Even though you may live in the hot Sonoran Desert where there's not enough moisture for an iguana, or in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, where they'll freeze over the winter. And sadly, in the days when I was doing iguana rescue, many iguanas were found dumped outside. One was found Thanksgiving weekend in a pile of leaves, frozen, but still alive, and the iguana did hang in there for many years and was adopted. So, but you think, okay, I want an iguana. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be discussing different aspects of iguana husbandry. And my old timer here, Ezra, has offered to volunteer to be the spokes iguana for today's episode, which is on feeding iguanas. Now, iguanas are herbivores, vegetarians, so they eat their veggies and their leafy greens, and more particularly, they're a foliivore. Now, that's the type of herbivore who eats leaves. And green iguanas, if you recall, live up in trees, so they're snacking on leaves all day long. And so that's what their basic diet should be. Now, of course, you've probably seen in the pet store that there are pellets that you can buy for iguanas. But to my knowledge, they've never found a tree in the rainforest or on the Caribbean islands where the rock iguanas live that grows pellets. Really, you should get as close to their real diet and as you can. So that's what we're going to discuss today. So, if you recall, iguanas have very sharp teeth. I don't know if Ezra will let me pull open, but you can see, there aren't any big molars in there. There's just little tiny sharp teeth. But you also may notice that his saliva seems sticky. And it is. And that's for a very important reason. Because in order to eat a leaf, he has to stick his tongue out, attach the leaf to his tongue with the sticky saliva, and pull it into his mouth where his teeth can then cut it off. So they're like little razor blades because they have to bite through dense fibrous leaf tissue. So I don't know if we can get him to demonstrate this for you. Yeah, see, he's testing it, seeing if it's something that might be of interest to eat. It's going to be a little shy. But, there he goes. He's grabbed a little bit of it. There we go. Okay. Going to clamp down. No, he's not going to perform for us. But you see that he has to bite down and cut off a mouth-sized piece. Now, this is very important when you're preparing the iguana food because, as I said, they don't have molars, so they have no crushing teeth. All right, so I'm going to put him down for a moment. So I like to use collard greens. This is a collard green in case you've never seen one before. It's a nice big collard green. And it's high in calcium, which is very important. Many people will get these lovely looking romaine lettuce bunches or even iceberg lettuce and say, oh, well, that's good enough for my iguana. I'll just throw in some lettuce. Lettuce does not have any nutritive value. It's basically water and fiber. So it doesn't contain the nutrition that an iguana needs. So never lettuce for your iguana. You want those high calcium greens like collard greens, dandelion greens, turnip tops, mustard greens. And so you can get them at a lot of stores. I have my store trained to have a case of collard greens for me twice a week. So, but okay, you notice this collard leaf has a really thick stem running through it. Iguanas don't have those crushing teeth. So in order to feed them, I actually have to cut up the collard into bite-sized pieces. So I do enough of these that I just rip them off by hand. Some people like to use a knife, and so they cut down and cut the softer portion away from the stem until you have a nice pile of collard greens. And I like to find out how much my iguana will eat in a day and then prepare that much for them. Some iguanas have big appetites, so they require big bowls of collard greens, whereas others have dainty. Now, you may recall some of my iguanas are much smaller than Ezra, and so their pieces have to be their size. So their pieces will get cut down into even tinier pieces so that each portion is a mouth-sized piece. All right, so now I do this for all the greens that I put in their bowl, and I mix them and make them a nice tossed salad. But in the wild, iguanas eat a variety of plants, and we have to mimic that by providing as much variety to their diet as possible. So I like to add seasonal vegetables. Now in the greens, you stay away from the cabbage family. Cauliflower, broccoli, although the broccoli leaves, those little leaves that you tend to pull off and throw away, aren't any good. You know, stay away from the cabbages. Cabbages are not a food for iguanas. Some of the nutritional leafy greens, like kale, are also high in calcium, but they have oxalic acid, and it's been considered a problem that this compound binds up the calcium that the iguanas need. Now, I stress the high calcium part of these leaves because that's the primary cause of problems in captive cared for iguanas, and that's metabolic bone disease. That's when their bodies don't get enough calcium and don't get enough vitamin D to turn the calcium into bones. So the poor lizard has these squishy bones that get broken, their spines become broken and then don't heal straight. And so you want to make sure that your iguana is getting sufficient calcium and then sufficient of the light, the sunlight they need to make strong bones, because you want your iguanas to have strong bones. But I'll be discussing lighting and heating in another reptile side chat. So let's continue with our food preparation. Now, as I said, I like to give my iguanas variety. And so I use a lot of zucchini, and there are many kinds of zucchini in the zucchini family. They have what's called the gray squash. They have the yellow squash. All of them are excellent. Anything that's in the zucchini family, actually anything that's in the squash family, butternut squash, acorn squash, spaghetti squash, things that you can prepare so that the iguanas can eat it. Now, you could chop up this into little pieces, but once again, iguanas don't have those grinding teeth. So I like to use a potato peeler. And so what I do is I just run the potato peeler along the zucchini, and this makes nice thin slices of zucchini that the iguana can eat with ease. Now, I don't know if Ezra will prefer those. We can see if he will go after his zucchini slice. He likes those a lot. Yeah, he likes the zucchini slices. And the nice thing is they're high in water, so they provide some hydration as well. Yeah, we like our zucchini pieces. And then, once he's eaten the good stuff, he will eat his collard greens as well. But you can mix them up so that he has to work his way through the mixed salad to get to his favorite parts. Now, you can also add things like carrots. Now, you can cook the carrots so they're nice and soft, or you can use them raw, more nutrition in the raw food. And once again, you just use that potato peeler and make these nice thin slices of veggies that the iguana will enjoy eating. All right, so we've made a mixture. I like variety in my food, and I know the iguanas do too. So variety is very, very important. Now, people often think that iguanas should eat fruit, but actually fruit isn't the best thing for them. Fruit's more like the chocolate cake for dessert. A little fruit goes a long way. They do eat native fruits out in the wild, like the palm fruits and some of the fruiting plants that they happen across, but primarily they're the foliivores eating those vegetables or eating those leaves. Now, not all fruit is created equally, and so one of the recommended fruits for iguanas are blueberries. They're good for iguanas too. We're told to eat blueberries for the antioxidants, and so a few blueberries to add some interest to the salad is okay. You can also use flowers, the edible flowers that you can eat, the iguana can eat too. Dandelions, roses, daylilies, but not tiger lilies, just the daylilies, are all pansies. One of my particular favorite are good for iguanas too, and they like the colors. Just make sure there are no pesticides or artificial compounds in the plants. Never use a plant that you've gotten from the florist, something you've grown in your yard. I actually was very popular with my neighbors in New Jersey because I would ask if I could pick their dandelion flowers from their yard, and they would always welcome me to come over and pick as many dandelions as I liked. Clover flowers, good too. If you can eat it, your iguana can eat it. Now, down in the Bahamas, they have iguana tours where they stick grapes on the ends of sticks so that you can feed a wild iguana. The tourists have fun. It's not nutritionally appropriate for the iguanas, and it has been impacting the health of the wild population, but it's better than them sticking it in the sand and then the iguana eating a lot of sand and getting impacted. So unfortunately, we find them too cute to leave alone, and we want them as our own pets. Now, if you have questions about what you can feed your iguanas, you're welcome to contact me. I've been having iguanas for many, many years, but there's also a lot of websites that have lists of appropriate diets. Sure, you can get those pellets for in cases of emergency. I used to keep some on hand for blizzards in New Jersey. You can use them like croutons on the salad, just something a little different, but he was made to eat leaves. And so make sure that the diet of your iguana resembles a rainforest or the native leaves that an iguana would eat. So thank you. If you have any questions, like I said, don't hesitate to contact me. I can talk about iguanas forever. So thank you, Ezra, for being our spokes iguana today. And sign up for my newsletter on elaineapowers.com, or check out the books and the workbooks and the activity sheets on lyricpower.net. And I'll see you next week for another Reptile Side Chat. This is Elaine Powers saying goodbye. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, and share, and subscribe. Every time you comment or share one of my videos, it helps me make more videos. And the more videos I make, the more people we reach. And the more people who know about reptiles, the more they'll want to protect them. It's a win-win.